Hey guys, Q here again. Sorry it's been a little while since I've done one of these. Been really busy. Of course, we've been out a lot for school, for snow, and so it's going to take me a little while. Plus, I've been trying to get this interview with someone. I think you're going to really like it. And so kind of keeping with this theme of kind of interviewing these candidates as they're on the campaign trail running for president, I have for us today a great interview. So we have live via Skype from New Hampshire, the independent senator from Vermont who is currently running for president of the United States under the Democratic ticket, Senator Bernie Sanders. Senator Sanders, thank you so much for joining us. Hello, is this thing on? I don't understand this technology. Hey, can somebody, I see you there now, Mr. Williams. Hi, it's good to be here. Sorry, we need to make this quick. I've got something I've got to do here in New Hampshire. Again, Senator, thank you again for being with us today. I can't tell you how excited my class is and I am to have you here. So just a couple quick questions. Number one, what is the major issue that you see facing the country today? Yes, Mr. Williams, that's an easy question. The major problem that we face today as a country, what we see is the 1%. Wealth income inequality in America is out of control. All right, we have most of the wealth in the country going to the 1%, those making over $400,000 a year. They're capturing 90% of the income, whereas the bottom 90% have not seen their wages grow. Their wages have stagnated. And that's mainly because, again, all of that wealth is being captured by the 1%, and we're not seeing it trickle down to the rest of the people in the economy. That's a huge, huge problem, and that's the first thing that I would fix if I became president in 2017. All right, thank you very much. And kind of leading off of that first question, what specific policies then would you enact as president to deal with income inequality in America today? To correct this major problem with income inequality in America today, what I would do was I would increase the marginal tax rate on the 1%. So I would increase those taxes to over 50% for those making over $400,000 a year. Again, the idea is that we would then see that income trickle back down to the 90% and finally see wages grow in this country, thus growing the middle class, which is what, again, drives our economy today. All right, thank you very much. And kind of leading off of that first question, what specific policies then would you enact as president to deal with income inequality in America today? Actually, Mr. Q, my plan would only increase taxes up to 50% on those making over $400,000 a year. Average Americans would not see their taxes increase. And this is actually not that radical. In the 40s, 50s, and 60s, you had a marginal tax rate on those making over $400,000 of almost 94%. And again, that's the time in history when you see the middle class grow exponentially in America. And so that's what I would want to do again today, to redistribute this wealth so that, those in the middle are gaining more income than just those at the top. That's not how a democracy should work. A democracy should work where all have equal access, not just those at the very. That's really interesting. So from kind of a historical perspective then, this really reminds me what you're talking about would be the tax rates that we saw in the 40s, 50s, and leading into the 60s. Can you speak any more to the kind of the historical relevance here to the kind of tax rates that you're wanting to enact? And so I actually have a question for your class. From a historical perspective, who was it? What president in 1944 and in 1945, what president did you see increase taxes up to 94% on those at the very top? All right, gang, so you heard Mr. Sanders there. So for my history students, what Mr. Sanders and what I want to know is, tell me, who was the president really in 1945, 44, 45, and on into the 50s, who you saw really dramatically increase the tax rates in America? So who was that president? My second question, Mr. Sanders, that I wanted to know, or wanted to ask you, excuse me. You talked a lot about I've heard you talk a lot in your speeches about campaign finance. Can you speak more to the point of campaign finance and how you would try to correct what's going on today, the problems that you see facing us as a nation? Yes, the second major issue that I would correct today, what I see as a politician, is the issue of campaign finance. What we see today, if you look at Hillary Clinton and her campaign, most of her money, where it comes from, is from those large super PACs. Those people, again, Wall Street cronies, they're providing unlimited funds, unlimited dark money. We don't really know where this money is coming from, giving it directly to, or indirectly I should say, to Hillary Clinton and her campaign. Whereas myself, in my campaign, most of the funds that I have raised, actually a majority of the funds that I have raised, have come from individual donors, those only making, donating less than $250. Okay, so I don't have a large super PAC like Hillary Clinton, and that's the first thing I would do, again, is to create a constitutional amendment dealing with the issue of campaign finance, and we would fix it. And so here's another question that I have for you, Mr. Williams, for your class. What was the important Supreme Court decision in 2010 that stripped campaign finance laws in this country? It was abomination, and as president, I would push for an amendment to the Constitution dealing with campaign finance. All right, guys, so you heard again, Mr. Sanders wants to know, and I want to know, what was the important Supreme Court decision passed in 2010 dealing with campaign finance? And that's a question for my government class. Thank you again for joining us today. I know you're very busy. I think you need to go introduce somebody, so I'll let you get on with that. Is there anything else that you want to say to my students before I let you go? I'm sorry, Mr. Williams, I have to go. I have a very important rally that I am attending in New Hampshire. I've got to go introduce the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So if you will excuse me, goodbye, class. Remember, vote for Bernie 2016. Feel the burn. Bernie out.
Fight back and demand that our government represents all of us and not just the 1%. All right, that's enough for a speech. You came out to hear some music tonight. Please welcome the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Speak, David, speak. Good dog.